Hi, everybody.
Hey, Pedro.
Hey, Pedro.
Good evening.
Pedro.
Good evening, Pedro.
Looks like we're still waiting for Tracy to come on. We're about 2 minutes out.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey,
Hello.
Tracy.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Good
Tracy,
evening.
no
Hello.
time. We're in good shape.
Hey, Tracy.
All right, it looks like we're all on. It is 6:30, so welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Before we get started, I'm going to have Barbie read the record statement into the record. Barbie, floor is yours.
Good evening. I want to share a couple of logistics regarding this meeting. For participants who may be unfamiliar with Zoom, please remember to keep your camera on. While the meeting is in progress, and mute yourself when you are not talking. Board members, the mayor will be calling on each of you individually to provide comments and votes. When voting, please remember to identify yourself by stating your name and your vote. If you would like to speak at any point during the meeting, please raise your hand and be mindful of your background. If we are in a meeting, middle of a presentation, and you are raising your hand but not being called, please feel free to speak up. Most importantly, we want to make sure board members are able to participate in the meeting fully. If you experience any technical difficulties and are accidentally exited out of the meeting, please notify me via text and we'll suspend the discussion. We need to take the roll call. Please indicate if you are present. Mayor Ron Pappas.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Brenda McMillan.
Present.
Commissioner Jason Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Ann Simpson.
Ann Simpson, present.
Commissioner Tracy Westlick.
Tracy Westlick, present.
Commissioner Pedro Morey.
Pedro Mori, present.
Thank you. All members are present. Mayor, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. So again, this meeting is now called to order, regular meeting on June 22nd, 2021. But before we get to going, if you'd please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everyone. Again, welcome to tonight's meeting. So at this point, we're down to the adoption of the agenda. Do I have any requests for changes on tonight's agenda?
Mayor Pappas, I'd like to request that we add under new business to review the rules of procedure for the planning board.
Okay, so that's an additional item on the agenda. All right, is specifically on that, do you have any other comments on that?
I'd like us to review and consider amending their rules of procedure regarding special meetings.
Okay, very good. All right, that being requested, would I have a motion to amend the agenda for tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Very good. Commissioner Hall has placed that forward. All right, roll call vote on the amendment of the agenda. I'm going to start with Mayor Pro Tem McMillan,
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Morey, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Good, thank you for that. That item will be moved down to new business, item number J. We'll pick that up later. All right, we'll move down to the general public comments. I understand there is one comment. I'm going to turn this back over to Deputy Town Clerk Barbie, if you would read that into the record, please.
Thank you. The public comment is from David Cash at 8704 Anklin Forest Drive. And his comment is on the Gray Byram intersection. Many thanks and kudos to the board for their taking the initiative to address the need for traffic control at the Gray Byram Providence Road intersection. It is a much needed improvement, and waiting for NCDOT was uncertain at best and would have taken months longer than necessary to complete. My wife and I each use that intersection at least once a day, and the light and turn lanes are great. End of comment.
Very good. Well, it's again, much needed. I appreciate that, Mr. Cash. There's a little bit of a pulling some strings to get that done, but the staff and the board put it together, and now you have it. It is operating and functioning. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. All right, we'll move down to the consent agenda. If I could have a motion on the consent agenda as published.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda as published. We're going to go to the roll call vote again. I'm going to go with Mayor Pro Tem again.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Morey, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
and Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Very good. Adopted as published. Very good. There are no recognitions. There's a presentation tonight from Haven Creative. I see we have Jenny Buchholz on the line. So Jenny, we're going to give the floor to you. Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, Town of Waxhaw leadership. I am so excited after 9 months to birth this baby called the website. So we are thrilled to show you where we are, and the official, I'm calling it a soft launch because I want to roll it out. And as many of you in the tech space, I know Commissioner Hall, you're used to this. We want to softly roll it out, test it. If there's any kind of feedback from the community of ways that we can improve it, get that feedback, and then we would officially announce probably mid-July. So that gives us, time to make some edits and tweaks. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to show you where we are. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Everyone can see, thumbs up. We're good. Okay, perfect. So I always like to start with what were our goals from the get-go for this project? You invested a lot of time and money into this, so we want to talk about why we did it. We wanted to improve the user experience overall. We know that mobile view was an issue for a lot of our residents. It was not responsive. It didn't really, transition to mobile view well at all. We wanted to reduce the number of clicks for a user to get to the information they were looking for. We needed to update the overall design, make it less cluttered. We definitely felt like there were too many layered elements, the color and the texture. It was hard to read a lot of the text on the website. We wanted to make the contact forms and directories more prominent. We also talk about ways to improve the back-end experience for the town staff. Many people didn't see that side of it, but for the staff, it was very cumbersome and hard to update pages, add information, and really just being able to quickly update that information. It just took a long time to load. And then we really also wanted to make sure it was ADA compliant. And so there are a lot of things that currently on the site, like again, talking about the texture, the font size, things were not easily read for various types of population that we have in Waxhaw. We also wanted to improve the metrics and reporting. While we had some Google Analytics, we didn't really have good visibility about what pages were viewed most, what information we needed to gather, and we didn't have a shared dashboard for really customer service facing for our residents between clerk's office, between marketing, between phone calls in the front office. So we're really excited to show you that tool that we now have as well. So we talked to you back in November. That's when we kicked off this project, and they had estimated that it would take, at the good end, 6 months, at the high end, 8 months, but the average was 7. And so really, truly launching tomorrow is 7 months from when we started. So that just gives you a background of where we were. And here we go. We talked last time, we showed you what the design looked like. And now here we are live. So this is a production platform right now. It's not live until tomorrow morning. What we have here is our main tabs. It looks like my cursor doesn't want to show me where I am, but I want to is really service focused. So I want to is meant to be helping any resident that wants to come and quickly learn how to apply for, pay for, learn about, report, request. What you'll find is there's a lot of redundancy in our links. So we wanted to think about from a user's experience, where might they search? And then let's put it in multiple places so that if someone tends to go to residents, they can find it under residents. Or if they're a business, it's very business focused. So we know we have different customers as the town of Waxhaw. So we wanted to make sure we spoke to all of them and made information easy to find. If you recall back in our work session, we had told you we specifically chose the search function website, which means the search bar is center focus. There is not a long scroll to this website. That's something that we all kind of hated about our current site. It just scrolls on forever. So it's intentionally a short homepage, and it's very action oriented as far as these buttons. Again, where is my cursor? Okay, something to note about these buttons. They can easily be swapped out based on feedback from the community, based on a new capital projects program. Like you notice right here, right now, we have our capital projects button. We have the capability to change these buttons at any given time, which is nice. But what we're going to do when we launch, we're going to actually do some heat map dataing. So it's a site called MouseFlow that's going to track our user experience over the next 60 days so that we can make informed decisions about where people are clicking, and then we can move buttons around as needed. So we have that flexibility now, which is really helpful. What we have here in our spotlight section, we think of this as a billboard. So this is going to swap out also based on what information we want to feature on that billboard. It's always going to be the one that's first showing. But what you can do is you can also click through the tabs and see the upcoming events. So upcoming events are going to obviously be our events that are happening, but also Board of Commissioner meetings and those kind of things. Then, just like our current site, we have our news. So you're going to find any news articles, press releases, job postings, whatever's coming on the news board is going to be featured right there. So then as you scroll, this is really more of an economic development feature. It's just meant to be some high-level numbers about our community, also very easily updated and swapped out as we see fit and as we need. And then another interesting feature we have here is a most search items. So any one of these, it says popular searches, but quite frankly, we can pick them. So we chose based on the phone calls that we get. It's always about trash pickup. So we populated that one up there. We get a lot of requests about advisory boards, job postings. Right now, these are the most searched things or called about things in our community. So that's why we put them top of mind. But again, we have the flexibility to change these out, which is really nice for us. Going back to I think this is a big one. And I know Commissioner Westlake had asked last time, and we're really excited about this. I'm going to show you what it looks like in mobile view. So if I scrunch the screen down, you can get a feel for what it would look like on a mobile view. It turns into icons. And so what's great about this is we again can populate these icons based on the phone calls we're getting, the social media inquiries we're getting, if we need to adjust them. But right now we have this quadrant of 16, so 4 across, 4 down. And we have picked which links we want to put first. The reason that this is not a big visual video or image is because you're on your mobile. You don't want something to load slowly. You want to just tap what you need to get to, and you want to do it quickly. So that's why we chose this button view for that specific reason. So the next thing I wanted to show you is what we've added as far as forms go. A couple months back, you heard from our town clerk's office that the Gov service tool that Granicus offered really was not conducive to the type of back-end experience that we needed to make quick workflows to handle customer service inquiries and manage social media and provide, customized reporting and metrics. So what we did is we went to a tool called HubSpot. What that is it's a marketing automation. It's also sales, so like a customer relationship management tool, and it's a service tool. What that looks like is it's a whole back end of reporting. So what this is going to do for our town staff, it provides a shared dashboard. So from marketing in our sense of social media, all the way to service, which is what Melody handles as far as public information requests go, we now have shared visibility. So if John Smith talks to me on Facebook Messenger, I can then send him right to Melody, and then I can see what his request is, and then we can see together how we're talking to that person, and then we can close the inquiry. So what it's doing is it's giving us much, much better visibility across the board, but also very detailed real-time reporting. And so this is just a screenshot example of what that dashboard kind of looks like, but I want to show you in real time on the back end what it looks like. So first and foremost, it's going to create much better reporting. So we can do all of our website tracking in here. We can see who's clicking on what content, and we can very specifically see what type of content is getting the clicks and impressions and shares and sessions and so forth. All of this is meant to automate our processes, to reduce inefficiencies on staff and stop wasting time and money on things that we're doing. So we're not jumping in and out of multiple platforms. We're doing it in one database. It also is going to provide, like I said, that the better reporting, better visibility. So we were providing better customer experience. So if someone asks me a question and I didn't know that Melody's been talking to them, imagine how much friction that can cause in the community, right? So I can say, hey, Melody, John Smith said this on social, and I can see she's also talking to him. And I give you an example of how that works. So in marketing, I can go to, can't see my cursor, conversations, and I can go to inbox. And we've linked our Facebook Messenger right into this inbox. Why this is amazing is because we do get a lot of messengers in the inbox on Facebook. Now, Melody and I can both share this inbox, and we can see that something comes in, and then we can even create a ticket on the side, which is like, if I can't answer it, I can assign it to Paula over in public services. If it's a trash pickup inquiry, she can go in and service that ticket and close it, and the resident gets an announcement and a notice about it. So we're being more real time, being able to respond to people quicker and more efficiently based on who needs to see that inquiry. We can also, see if I can get out of here because I hate that I can't see my cursor. We can also schedule social media content. So what's really great about this is that multiple people can see at one time where we're scheduling content and what we're saying. So I just go here to social. If Melody needs to jump in, if our new social media admin person that's coming on is jump in, you can see exactly what we're posting, and you can comment to the post here. You can do everything from one platform. So again, I'm not jumping into Facebook, then to Instagram, then to Twitter. We don't have multiple people trying to log in and out of our accounts. We have this shared visibility. So it's really creating better metrics. So we also can do our Waxhaw happenings out of here. So it's our email marketing tool. So if you remember, I showed you, I think previously, so we do all of our Waxhaw happenings that you've seen has gone digital. I can get very, very granular on who's opening. Thank you, Commissioner Simpson. I see that you open it a lot. When you read it, it's a little bit creepy, but also cool. I can see down to the contact level when people are reading, but I can also see what they're clicking on. So I can see which links are more clicked on, where they're clicking on the information. All of this is to provide better content, the content that you want to see, but also I can come back to the board and say, hey, we're getting a lot of clicks on Rec Desk or this piece of information or that. So we can provide better content. I can also tell you how long someone's reading versus skimming versus glancing at our content. I can even tell you what devices they're accessing it on, which means maybe we need to make it more mobile friendly because they're accessing it on a Mac device versus a PC, whatever. All of this stuff is really helping us make more informed decisions on how we're providing content to our community. So it's an exciting piece of the whole platform itself. This is tied into our new website, and it's providing that marketing automation. Last thing is we've added in this ADA compliance tool called UserWay. So this is another third-party app that Granicus suggested we add on. What it looks like, it's going to add this little icon on the top right of our website. And when you click on it, this accessibility menu pops out. And so what it does is it actually will automatically read some of the links and say it out loud. It will make the text larger for those that can't maybe read it. It will even widen the text spacing. It will highlight certain things and change it so that really everything can be more legible or reach the person where they are in their need. So overall, if we go back to our goals, that reporting and metrics, better customer service, ADA compliance, usability, I think that the new website truly achieved that. And I'm going to stop there and stop sharing so you can see me. And any questions?
Wow, that is fabulous. But I see before I start rolling on it, Commissioner Simpson had her hand up.
It looks awesome, Jenny. Great job. I had a couple questions for you. I looked at, and I didn't, maybe it's there under the I want to tab. Is there a link for public comments?
Yes, here. I can go
Okay,
back.
and I might not have just seen it because I know we just looked over that quickly.
Sorry. Yeah, I can go back in and do it a little bit slower. So,
No, as long as it's there, you don't necessarily need to do that. And then the HubSpot metrics and everything. So I know on the website and on the mobile, it says report a concern. So if somebody did I'm assuming that would link to a form, would that put it into the HubSpot for it to?
yes,
Okay.
it's so exciting. I can nerd out on this because this is why. So what happens is we built a form. So it looks like it's just built into the website. We did pet data, we did public service announcements. So what happens, we built automated workflows. So you submit a request, we've on the back end built a workflow so that it spits it into Melody's inbox or my inbox or Todd's inbox based on what the request is. We've even built in the functionality to pay for something. So if you need to do your pet license, and we've built a form for if your pet is neutered or not neutered, and it goes right into the workflow, you pay for it, and then it goes into the right place. So we've connected the town finance tool through Stripe so that all of it is connected into HubSpot. So now I can see on your contact record, if you have a dog in our community, if you're reading our newsletter, if we talk to you on public service requests, like all the things.
Oh, that's awesome. I wonder if
I
it's
know
gonna,
that's really great.
It's creepy sometimes, but it's also amazing because it just makes it better for us to help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say creepy because it's amazing what people can track nowadays online. I mean, anytime you go to one place and you get an ad for why you're there, I mean, it's all the algorithms. So
I
it's
think,
definitely bumped us up.
definitely long in the making and very much needed. I'm excited to have this thing really take traction, go live. Yes, we welcome, the comments from some of the people that are the users of it. Could only get better each step of the way, but what a great undertaking. This has been over a year. Jenny, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is like figuring out what type of tools we needed. How do we combine tools to save the town money and make sure we're putting it in one place and then building it all out. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's still, like I said, a beta launch. We're going to keep continuing improving it and fixing things as we go. But I think this having the HubSpot piece is huge because we can schedule social media. We can respond to social media as a team now, not just like one person here or there and have it be spotty. So I think that's huge.
That's very exciting. And are you gonna roll this out what date again for everybody?
So tomorrow it will go live, and they told us between 8 and 10, I think. And I need to also add this in there. Melody has been, I know she won't want this recognition, but she's been huge in helping making sure that all of the content on all the supplementary pages looks the same and like where we're putting it and communicating with staff. So I just want to communicate. It was a huge team effort, and all the department heads and their teams have been involved as well in the training. They're all trained, they're ready to go. So like it's definitely not a Haven thing. I want to make that clear. It was a huge undertaking.
It was definitely a team effort on everybody's part.
The board can be very proud of the staff today because they did an incredible job to get this done.
I think we went from 400 pages down to 265.
Wow.
Still sounds like a lot, but it's a lot a lot better.
And then staff, to brag on staff, they actually took the vision of what we were going to implement with the website and figured out ways that they could better provide their content.
That's awesome. That is just a fabulous undertaking. I mean, I remember when we first started talking about it, it felt like almost the impossible dream. And now we're at the jumping off point. We're looking at it tomorrow. So Jenny, team, staff, town manager, everybody who's worked on this, what an effort. Congratulations on pulling this off.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other thoughts?
Something you could do when you work together.
Yes, what a novel idea, right? So
Yeah, no, but like I said, that's why I say we don't want to like shout from the rooftops that it's launched yet, because we're like, oh, give us a second, make sure the kinks work and like everything's going okay. But we feel really proud of where we are. So
shout anyway, it's a good feeling. So thank you for all of that, Jenny. It's your entire Haven team. Give them a big hug in the morning or tonight, whenever you see them next. But it's truly appreciated by this board, the amount of time, effort, and energy that you've had to put into this thing. I know it's gone up and down. I know there's a lot more time invested in it on your team side as well. It is appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been great to see it go to that next level. I think it's going to be awesome.
Great. Any other thoughts, comments for Miss Jenny across the board? All right, Jenny, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll look forward to having this thing be live, and comments are welcome. They truly are. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. Have a good evening. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
All right, we're going to move down to public hearings, which there are none tonight. We're going to get to old business tonight. This is the consider adoption of the Town of Waxhaw 2021 and 22 fiscal year budget. I'm going to pass the baton over to Town Manager Jeff Wells. Jeff.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. And I apologize on the front end for having a froggy voice, but hopefully I won't have too bad of a coughing fit through this. But at your last meeting, the public hearing was conducted and of course went through the 40 to 45 minute presentation on the fiscal year 21-22 budget. So as I mentioned before, we started this process back in January at the retreat and have been on this 6-month journey that culminates in the decision this evening. So I'm certainly happy to go back through anything that you would like with questions or comments that you have. But first, just want to reiterate that staff will be recommending and requesting 3 separate motions from the board this evening. The first motion is to adopt the 2021-22 operating budget ordinance 2021-009. A motion to adopt the 2022 to 2026 capital improvement plan. And then the motion to adopt the 2021-22 capital improvement budget and ordinance 2021-010. So remember that the operating budget is just as it sounds. It's your day-to-day operations, the administration, what it takes to run the town on a day-to-day basis. So that's your expenditures from your departments such as police, parks and rec, emergency management. Motion for the capital improvement plan. I am excited to say this will be the town's first true adopted capital improvement plan in the history of the town. We are finally at the point where we have recognized the need for capital projects. Capital improvement plans are typically 4 to 5 years. Ours will be a 5-year plan. And this is really, really imperative because it allows us to synchronize our project planning with our budget. It links our town plans to our physical capacity, but most importantly, it informs the public about our investment in infrastructure. And that's what this document is. It's investing in the amenities and the infrastructure that will allow us to perform at a high level, looking into the future, looking into what our needs are, and not continuing to kick the can down the road. So I'm very, very excited. This path that we have moved down towards. Certainly happy, as I mentioned before, to answer any questions or clarify anything that you would like. So with that, I will cede the floor back to the mayor. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. So we've been down this road for a long time. We've been studying this and spending a lot of time as a board on it. But at this point, I want to ask one more time if there are any questions that anybody would like to ask. Hey, any thoughts? I thought I saw Commissioner Simpson's hand up. You're not up. I see screens moved around me.
I see
All right.
Pedro's hand.
All right, I see it now. Great. All right, Commissioner Morey.
If Commissioner Simpson has a question, go first.
I don't at this time, surprisingly.
Wow.
Mayor Pappas, I did prepare a few statements that I'm happy to enter in if now is a good time.
Okay, very good. Floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. When I signed on as Commissioner of Waxhaw, I promised the residents that all my decisions would be analytically driven. As you know, I've been personally immersed in the delicate debate surrounding revaluation and thinking through all the scenarios that any financial decision might have on the future of Waxhaw, whether historic or modern. In that light, I've assembled and analyzed a massive amount of data that supports the opinions I present here tonight. In gathering the information needed to make an educated decision about our budget, I have met with residents, town personnel, and many of you to socialize my findings. I have toured the town facilities and evaluated our current situation. I have concluded that our town hall is no longer sufficient or even appropriate to serve the needs of our growing town. For instance, Parks and Recreation personnel, who are arguably the envy of Union County, are trying to work in converted houses and embarrassingly primitive spaces. Perhaps the most troubling part for me is the cinder block garage where a town resident must visit to make final arrangements for a loved one being buried in our picturesque cemetery. Let's face the facts together. There are 14 municipalities in Union County, and between 2010 and 2020, the average growth rate of the other municipalities has been 18%. During that same period, Waxhaw experienced 104% growth. This data has helped me logically conclude that our growth certainly could not have been a surprise to previous boards, which makes me ask with frustration, why wouldn't they plan more effectively, given these numbers, since they were on the front lines of this reality? I passionately believe that even the county could have implemented more frequent revaluations instead of being compelled only by legal requirements to assess, which could have mitigated the effort of this significant assessment being levied all at once. While doing my homework, I've read comments from naysayers who would like to cast a shadow of failure on our town, negative voices that are full of falsehoods. But I believe the light emanating from Waxhaw is too bright to be diluted by those who use their voices to frighten or refuse to come out in the open for a healthy debate. It is clear to me their comments point to an ignorance about the state of our town facilities and a lack of knowledge about how our incredible staff is working in substandard conditions. To me, the naysayers haven't taken the time to understand what we need to keep our positive movement sustainable as we work to protect the well-being and rights of over 20,000 Waxhaw residents. The reality, many people in and outside of Waxhaw want what we have. The vote on our fiscal year budget tonight is significant as it represents our town's commitment to putting facts over falsehoods and common sense over denial. My initial hesitation with parts of our fiscal year budget have been clearly resolved using the data collected, analyzed, and socialized with residents. Overwhelmingly, residents get it. They understand what needs to be done because the proverbial can has been kicked down the road for too long. And today is the day when we need to decide on a budget that will benefit our town for generations to come. Therefore, to ensure that we continue to experience what is already working to help Waxhaw emerge as a light for all, my decisions as commissioner will come from a place of positive, informed, and fact-based opinions. I ask each of you to join me in helping us stay the course and keep moving forward. Thank you, commissioners and Mayor Pappas, for giving me the floor to speak.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Hall. That was nicely said. Thank you very much. All right, and so any other thoughts, comments that anybody wants to bring forward? All right, so tonight we have three motions to make. And I guess I'm going to entertain the motion for the first one, which would be motion to adopt the 2021-22 operating budget and ordinance. If you are making the motion, please recite the entire ordinance number.
I make a motion to adopt the 2021-22 operating budget and ordinance 2021009.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Simpson. Appreciate that. All right, you have before you the motion to adopt the operating budget ordinance. And so I'm going to start with a roll call vote. We'll start with Commissioner Morey.
Commissioner Morey, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McMillan,
Brenda McMillan, aye.
and Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Very good, thank you. All right, we'll move down to the next motion. If I might have that, please, someone.
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2022-26 capital improvement plan.
Very good, you have that motion in front of you for the adoption and approval of that. So we'll go back to Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Morey, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McMillan.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
All right, very good. Thank you on that too. Now, the third motion is up. This is the final motion for this one. Could I have the motion, please?
I'll go for the trifecta. Motion to adopt the 2021-22 capital improvement budget and ordinance 2021010.
All right, board and commissioners, we have the motion up to adopt the 2021 capital improvement budget options. Roll call. We'll go back and start again with Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Morey, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McMillan,
Brenda McMillan, aye.
and back to you, Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
That's outstanding. Congratulations, everybody, for putting all the time, effort, and energy. Big undertaking. We're a bigger town than we used to be. Let's move this forward. So thank you very much for all the hard work. And Jeff, your staff as well, all the numbers that get fed into this thing, all the work from each and every one of the department heads. Again, it is truly appreciated, and it's really an enjoyment to be working with a group that gets it. So appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We have a fantastic group of staff. I just really want to take a moment to thank the board for your guidance advice and support through this entire process. It is much appreciated.
Very cool. All right, thank you. We'll move down to the business that we moved down from the original agenda. So this is new business from earlier. So who wants to start with that one? Oh, yes, Commissioner Simpson. We'll let the
Since I
floor-
request this, I'll just start with it, I guess. So recently I was made aware of the planning board meeting was canceled due to a lack of quorum, and they weren't able to conduct town business. And there appears to be some language in the current rules of procedure, specifically under section number 9, regarding the planning board's ability to hold a special meeting. I would like the board to consider amending this language this evening in order to enable the planning board to call and hold a special meeting to complete the business at hand that they were unable to complete last night, and to give them that flexibility. So I know Jeff had kind of worked with some of this language, and I know maybe he can speak a little bit more to what the change would be.
Thank you, Ann. So hopefully everybody sees on the screen the proposed revised language that I discussed with Charlie earlier today. So what we would do, if the board so chooses, would be to strike the section D that is within the meetings. And that would be to create a section DI or D1, which would say the chair, vice chair, or any 2 members of the planning board may at any time call a special board meeting by signing a written notice stating the date, time, and place of the meeting and the subjects to be considered. So D2 would be a special meeting may also be scheduled by action, simple majority of the planning board during another duly called meeting. The motion to schedule a special meeting must state the date, time, place, and subjects to be considered. And then 3, special meetings include formal meetings with an established agenda, along with work sessions or other informal meetings. Notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of the special meeting shall be provided at least 48 hours prior to the meeting in accordance with the provisions of the North Carolina Opens Meetings Law. And I basically just mined this language from the Board of Commissioners Rules of Procedure. So it's the exact same language, just changed to fit the planning board. And really, it's just another tool in their tool belt in case they need it. So it just enhances their ability to do their business. So that is the language that I came up with earlier today.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Now, this again is just to clarify some old language that had predated us, but it seemed to be in conflict of what we had going forward, what we decided on earlier this year. So if I remember right, we just want to make this give the planning board the ability to call the special meeting at will and not have to do it. I think the last one said that they had to be in a meeting to call a special meeting. Is that correct?
That's correct, and they still can do it that way, as that would be section 2 here. So really the main addition would be the section 1, where it can be called by the chair, vice chair, or any 2 members of the planning board, just as it reads for the Board of Commissioners when it says the mayor, pro tem, or any 2 members of the Board of Commissioners can call a special meeting.
Okay, very good. Does everybody understand what we're trying to accomplish here? Any questions across the board? All right, seeing no hands up. Well, Commissioner Simpson, I see.
I just want to state kind of the intent that I think the lack of quorum, or being able to have a quorum so that the planning board could conduct the business of the town, I think this would allow them to be able to do that and keep things moving forward. I just think, I mean, we need to be able to conduct the business of the town at all times. And I think something else that maybe the board, we should consider is how did we get into the situation that we did, that we had to cancel a planning board meeting with items that were actually on the agenda that couldn't be conducted. And I'm not sure if anyone would maybe want to consider having a special meeting, or maybe having the planning board chair at our next meeting to be able to speak about that. And maybe we're going to need to review our process. I think for for everything that we do, not to be able to provide the service, or if there was an applicant or someone there, I just think it doesn't look very good that we had to cancel the meeting because on our end, because we didn't have enough staff or enough people on our committee to do that. And so I think as a board, we need to kind of look at some of that process and procedure and maybe get a better understanding of what we can do to help to support our chairs so that these types of things don't happen moving forward.
I would agree. We want to keep on moving this forward. Thank you for that. Does anybody else have any comments to this? Again, this is a corrective language action. Tonight it's new. And since it's new, I want to make sure that everybody understands what we're trying to accomplish here. So any other comments, thoughts, questions? All right, so I guess on this one, we're going to be looking for a roll call vote. Charlie, can we do that right now? Does that be fine?
That's correct, Mayor. You can do it now.
All right, so I am going to ask for a motion to accept this language and incorporate it into our documents. So you can speak to it how you wish. Who wants to make the motion?
I'll go ahead and do it. I make the motion to strike section D and replace it with the information presented.
Very good. All right, so we have the motion on the floor to amend the language to what you see here presented to you. So I'm going to start again with Mayor Pro Tem McMillan.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Morey,
Commissioner Moore, aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Westlick,
Commissioner Westlick, aye.
and back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Thank you. That motion is passed again. Thanks for bringing that forward. Again, we don't want to have very much, certainly any planned interference with the town's business. So, as we go forward, as we have in the last 18 months, we will take corrective action when it comes to us. So thanks for that catch. And thanks for the staff for providing the language at the last moment. So again, it's what you do when you work together. So appreciate that. All right, we'll drop down this to the town leadership reports. Go back up to Town Manager Jeffrey Wells. Jeff, how much voice do you have?
I think I have a little bit left. So just a couple of things. We received our annual Main Street Program accreditation. So that was very good news. So we are an accredited Main Street program yet again. Also wanted to mention, since the budget was just passed, that the facade grant program will again be available starting July 1st. And of course, this board just adopted a budget that revamped that program. We currently have a budget that's doubled from $25,000 to $50,000. You can also look to improve not just the front facade, but any facade. So that could be eligible for your front, side, or rear of your building, and for residential and commercial buildings within the downtown area. So I encourage anybody out there that may be listening now or that may watch this at some point in the near future, if you have a property downtown, we have some resources to help you if you've been thinking about giving a little bit of a facelift. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for that. A lot of work that again went into all that. So we'll move down to Miss Dina, Parks and Recreation. Dina, I see you're lighting up here in the screen. So Susan, come on, you can have the floor.
There we go. Hi,
Hanging out at the suspension bridge again.
I'm your outside person, so that it works great, right?
Yes.
All right, let me share my screen. All right, I like how I think Jenny said earlier, thumbs up. Can everybody see me? All right. Yay. All right, so tonight I'm going to give you a heads up on what's going on in the Park and Rec world. And we're so excited since the budget has now been passed, we can announce also the event schedule for this coming up year, which we are super excited about because we're giving back all those wonderful events that COVID had us doing a little dance on doing some modifying last year, but we're ready to go and ready to rock on our upcoming year. We are, again, how you register with any events and programs is through our rec desk. A new program guide will come out in July. We're putting the finishing touches on that right now, so look out for that. Upcoming fitness and classes. So every Tuesdays and Thursdays, Miss Justine is out walking about with our residents that are in a downtown area. Please join her. Also, charcuterie class has still some room for next week. Excuse me, this week. So if you have the last minute, maybe a date night, please join us for that. And I wanted to share some awesome pictures with you about Hero Project that's over the last couple weeks. Just look at these smiling faces. So that's what we do. We bring communities together through small group or large group. So I just wanted to share what a wonderful program this is. And we're out in the community and exploring new places coming up this summer. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Barnes Park and it's Bubble Day. That is the highlight of some of the kids' summer because we bring out every type of bubbles you can think of, and Barnes Park is just filled with bubbles everywhere. So please come and join us in the morning at 9:30. Independence Day. So our 4th of July looks a little bit different this year. We're having a jam up party with an awesome band starting at 12 o'clock. We are going to have a food truck rodeo and activities. So lots of family activities. We have jugglers, magic and balloon. We also have face painting and characters. And we're putting up some of our inflatables. So you can do family photos. So this can be a really cool new way of making those family memories. We are also in social media telling you kind of where everything's at. So it's going to be on Church Street and McDonald Street and around the community corner in the water tower tank area. And we would love to see you from 12 to 3 on actual Independence Day on July 4th. We are community partners with Serve Waxhaw Day. That's coming up in July 10th. We're helping out with the logistics at the church and helping Miss Yolanda. She's the nonprofit group that is Serve Unity is the group that's holding it. And we're just doing our best to be good community partners as well. So please join us for that day from 9 to 12. Save the date for the next Jam by Tracks. So I just want to do a shout out. Our residents really came out this past Friday night. We had a full house and they were definitely jamming to the band. We had like probably close to 300 residents. So a great time and lots of smiling faces. Give you an update on the park. So we're at the final stages. We're at 70% of construction documents. We're going to start permits at the end of the month. We'll get the arborist tree inventory back in about a week as well. That's going to help us place around all of our facilities because remember, we're trying to keep as much of the tree canopy as possible. So we're super excited. And we're going to be coming back with a more detailed presentation on where all the placement's going to be. Again, love volunteers. I love for y'all to come out and be a part of our wonderful facilities as well. So we have Barnes Park still needs to be adopted and parts of the Thread Trail and Nesbitt Park. So if you're interested to be community partners with us, sponsor space is for you. So please come and join us for this wonderful community building activity. And if more information, just give us a call and we will be happy to help you process that. Again, we are looking for wonderful partners with vendors, instructors. We have set for this summer, but looking for October to December. So if you would like to do a class with us, a program, or even partner up with an event, please come in contact with us, and we would love to grow our community this way. And this is what makes Waxhaw, because we are very much a helping each other out on business side to our side of promoting. So please reach out to us and we'll see what we can do for partnership. And I always leave you with our vision and mission. If you have any questions or concerns, that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Dina. Got Miss Ann, I see her hand up there in front. Got a comment?
I do. Miss Dina, could you, I was working on Saturday and was unable to attend the Juneteenth event. Would you be able to give us a little update of how that went and how that transpired?
Sure. So Juneteenth, we partnered with a nonprofit, and they also were partnered with the City Monroe Park and Rec, also with Union County Park and Rec and Indian Trail Park and Rec. And then a lot of other nonprofits came together to celebrate Juneteenth. And we were fortunate enough to be a part of the event. We had our town tent and we had 400 activity bags to give out. We gave out considerably a lot of them to all of our residents of Union County. What the cool thing about having a community, I mean, truly global kind of like Union County community event, was we were able to make great contacts with other nonprofits and work with our other counterparts within Union County with Park and Rec to bring a wonderful service to the whole community. So I was really encouraged by it. And it also was encouraging to meet other residents of the county as well. And then tell them a little bit about us. So sometimes we don't have that, they're coming to us for events, and it was a great way for us to, I feel that we're a light. So it's to shine our light to the community. So I was very encouraged by the event. And also, if you heard Miss Brenda's speech, it gave me goosebumps afterwards. But it was one of those things where I feel that we have the ability to be a positive impact to the community, and that was really cool.
Well, appreciate that. I as well was there with the Mayor Pro Tem, and I got to tell you, it was really nice. But while I have Dina on the screen before she jumps off, I do want to recognize you for doing such a great job, not only with the jamming on the tracks. There were lots of people there. I was there, obviously, and I saw a lot of new faces there. The town is growing, very positive comments all the way around. So thank you for that. But having this collaboration with the Juneteenth celebration was a great choice. And we were able to be there on a collaborative effort with not only the county and the parks and recs of both the counties and some other municipalities, but some of the private clubs around the county as well. I think there were a couple of the mayors there besides myself, and everybody contributed. But I do want to give a huge shout out to Mayor Pro Tem McMillan for doing such a stellar job on representing us with her speech. It did give everyone goosebumps. And Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for doing that day. Oh, now you're going to be quiet, huh?
I think everyone has adequately represented today. And it was a day of collaboration where various groups of people, ethnicities, religions, all across the county, municipalities, and everyone came together. And they had an educational, informative, and enjoyable afternoon. And Ms. Dina and her staff was stellar. in their work and from getting there early in the morning until staying late in the afternoon. They definitely represented Waxhaw in a very positive way. And we look forward to more collaborations with other municipalities moving forward. So it was a good day and a good time by everyone, children, adults, everyone who was there. So it was very nice. Thank you.
That was great. So thank you all for that. Thank you, Dina, and your team, Amy and Justine, and the volunteers that showed up as well. Right there to the end, I saw you guys cleaning up even everybody else's stuff. So thank you. All right. All right. Well, any other thoughts, comments along those lines? Seeing no hands, we'll move on. Dina, thank you very much for all of that and what you do. So move it down to one more presentation. I think we have Orion in place of Matt tonight on the Development Services team. So Orion, I think once you light up here, the floor is yours. There you go. We can see you. Unmute yourself.
Good evening, Mayor,
Hey.
Commissioners. Thanks for having me tonight. I got a quick little report here. It's been going on for about a year now. We got the 12 Mile Creek debris removal. That was the bid came in on Monday yesterday, and we should hear what it was from procurement hopefully tomorrow or the next day, and hopefully we have a good bid and we can roll with that in the next few weeks or month or so. That should only take, I think it's only take about a few days to a week to get all that cleaned out. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed that we got a good bid. Gray Byram, the lights and the turn lanes are in and operating. I've only hit the red light once in the last 2 weeks, so that's good. Street signs, the above street lines at all the street lights, those are going to go up tomorrow. So be looking out for those in the next few days. The community center is one of the larger items we've been excited about, is the 18 new spots at the community corner. Right now we have a gravel entrance and we got the curb stops installed. We're waiting for the barricades to go up. That was either happening this afternoon or tomorrow, and it'll be operational but without signage by tomorrow or Thursday. Hopefully we can get there's an asphalt drive existing, and we'll put hopefully paint that, noting that that's the exit only, and then we should have both the entrances kind of marked and paved completely by next week. I believe it's Thursday. So that should be ready to go by Thursday and operating properly until the final design is done and it's set up, and hopefully the final design will get 20 spots, but right now we'll just have 18. And then the downtown pet improvements, the sidewalk from the bridge to the mill, we put the bid out earlier this week. We've got a little bit of responses so far, and we'll have a pre-bid meeting this Thursday. Hopefully we get a handful more responses, and those bids will be due July 6th. So we're excited to have that out and getting that construction done later this summer.
Both of those are very much needed. I'm sure all the business owners around the water tower area over there are going to be appreciative of 18 plus spaces going in there. Plus we're going to add the angular spaces along there too over the next, 60 days or so or more?
Hopefully, yes, we'll have that design done and ready and on the street for construction.
Well, every piece of real estate we can use up to improve that's a win for me. So thank you for all that. Sidewalk will be certainly welcomed by all those who not only go to the mill as a business for a restaurant, but all the owners or all the renters in the buildings behind, the apartments behind, can come forward now and kind of not take their life in their hands when they come from the mill over to our downtown area. So we're continuing to increase our pet access in and around the town every opportunity we get. And so I was on my bike the other day and rode my bike from my house all the way into Millbridge, never hit the street except across one. So it's working pretty well.
That reminds me of another. So the flashing beacon will also be going in, not with the sidewalk project, but we have a flashing beacon that will go on at Sunset and Kensington in the next few weeks. We're waiting on some parts to come in, the bolts to bolt down the poles. So once those bolts come in, we'll be putting in those crosswalks. It's kind of it'll be the test run on whether the public works can put those in, public services can put those in themselves, or if we're going to want to bid those out, and then how well they work and operate and how much we like them. So.
Well, that'd be good. Again, much needed, no doubt. All right, thank you for that. Any questions for Ryan from the staff around there? I see Miss Ann, big surprise, has her hands up, so go ahead.
Ryan, I'm not sure if you know the answer to this, but I know a lot of residents over in Millbridge, they were talking about the potholes on Kensington, and I think they were out there trying to do some repaving. Are you aware of any of that? Or Jeff, you might know, I'm not sure.
On Kensington, I had not heard of. I heard of some on Cuthbertson, but we don't own Cuthbertson.
Yeah, I know Kensington, I think NCDOT was starting to do some work over there, and I know there's been some like lane closures. I wasn't sure if we had any update on that.
That's correct, Ann. So the update is they've repaired all the potholes. They basically done what they call full depth patches out there to replace the subgrade. And from what I understand is they're supposed to be doing the overlay later this week, though the rain might have messed up that scheduling the past couple of days. But as of the end of last week, they were supposed to do the overlay at the end of this week. So hopefully they can still keep that schedule, but if not, I'm sure it will be done very soon thereafter. But the biggest, most important part of it really has already been done, is that the potholes were repaired.
So then that road will be all nice and smooth, because I know that was a big concern for a lot of residents over there of driving down that road.
Yes, that's correct. They'll have an overlay, so it'll be a fresh new
Smooth road.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks.
That's great. Thanks, Jeff, for that update. Ryan, any other comments that you need to make tonight?
Nope, just thanks for having me.
All right, well, thanks for being here and subbing in tonight, and appreciate the work that you guys do over there, because it's the coordination efforts of everybody, but you guys are leading that charge. So thank you and your team for helping us out. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. We're happy to be here. Good night.
And now we'll drop down to any comments, thoughts, whatever, on the Board of Commissioners. Anybody brave enough to raise their hand? Or do y'all want to go home tonight? All right, I see no hands on that. So we have nothing tonight on the closed session. So how many hands go up for adjournment? Who's got it?
I'll make an motion to adjourn.
Very good. Motion to adjourn. We'll do the roll call. It's more fun that way. Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Westlick.
Commissioner Westlick, aye.
And Moray.
Commissioner Moore, aye.
Back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Very good. We are adjourned. It's a wrap. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.
Charlie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Be safe.